who's that? Martin joined in once, didn't he?
All three of them joined in, didn't they? Martin, Robbo, Steve Walford.
Yeah. Go on, yeah. You mentioned that one.
We used to play young v old on a Friday for the yellow jersey. So whoever lost the five-a-side on a Friday, what you had to pick a player out of that team, the losing team, and they would have to wear the yellow jersey all week.
Yeah.
But Martin and Robbo, John Robertson and Steve Walford would join in and split the teams, split wherever the teams were. But they'd always find a spot for themselves to get in whatever team it was. And Robbo, bless him, he was in his late 40s. He couldn't run, but he always had this trick that he used to do when he was a player. The old shimmy, the old body swerve one way, lollipop and then go the other. And I promise you that everybody still used to go for it. He'd try and make everybody when he was on the ball. He couldn't run, but he'd go past players because he had this little reverse, body swerve that you just knew it was coming, but there was nothing you could do about it.
But I bet players, well, I bet the other players loved it if somebody else got done by, John Robertson, dropping the shoulder on him in training.
Oh, well, it was comical.
To be honest, Tags, it was nothing to be embarrassed about. He was so good. Yeah. Robbo, I mean, he wasn't an athlete by any stretch of the imagination, even when he was playing, but what a player. Yeah. What a player. He just used to stand out in the wing, didn't he?
He stood out in the wing with a big strap
around his knee going, feed the bear. And it didn't matter. He'd be marking him like 2 yards away and ping the ball across. That was it. Boom. Kill stone dead. He'd just make a monkey out of you every time. I used to test myself against him, not one-on-one, but trying to cover as a centre-half, picking out where he's going to cross the ball.
Yeah.
So he would always give it the eyes, so I'd cover one way and he'd pull it back the other, or vice versa. Then I started learning a bit and he was like, you're getting there, Elliott. Right? But then he'd up it another level. He'd give it the double eyes, so you'd go one way and he'd just bamboozle you. Unlucky, not ready yet, son. It was great to see, play with him. Steve Walford wasn't a bad player either, was he?
Wally was a decent player. He used to hobble up and down the wing because he had a dodgy knee, so he'd limp up and down. But he was a bit fitter than Robbo. But yeah, he could play. Martin
very rarely.
Very rarely played, but I think you've got the story of TC.
Well, I just remember that time quite vividly because the last person you'd think, because you mentioned there about...
I was talking about. I was going to ask you whether if players had just been dropped and they see their eyes light up because they see
an opportunity, let the manager have some. I mean, more often than not, that would be a foolish thing to do because there's only one winner ultimately. Yeah. But in the heat of the moment, some people must be tempted. But I think in this instance, Martin joined in, which was, Gerry says, pretty rare. Tony Cottee had been rested, dropped. And he wasn't too happy about it, which, is not a bad thing. But he was slightly disgruntled. So we're playing this game, but just out of nowhere. Tony never made a tackling training.
I never made a tackling.
In his career, But it's one occasion, the ball's gone a little bit loose, bounced off Martin, TC, bang, just came sliding in. He's proper crashed into Martin. But Martin's just collapsed in a heap, squealing as if his knee is restructuring. And there was just like a deathly silence. We're like, oh my God, what has just happened there? And Tony sort of looked at it, stark realisation, and then, Gaffer, I didn't mean it, by the way. I didn't mean it. Like, Martin's in too much pain to react. It was just really awkward moment. But I mean, it was a genuine mistake. It looked like it was intentional from Tony Cottee, but
did Martin believe that it was? Yeah,
and I think he came round. He's not that sort of lad, but it didn't look good. You have to say. The other thing that reminded me just quickly, if we've got time quickly, was Peter Taylor. His time with Andy Impey. I'm not sure if you were still there, Tags. Then you would have been. Of course you would. Of course you would. Yeah, sorry, but
cheeky get.
No. I was thinking. Anyway, memory's not what it used to be. But we weren't having a good time, as was generally the case after the opening period with Peter Taylor, and he pulled us in on a Wednesday. Ordinarily, that was a day off, but Peter used to sort of join in, stroke coach as well, so he would show you what he wanted to do. And so he's got the ball from left-hand side, and he's centre midfield, and he's sort of received the ball and stopped play, and he said, right, this is what I want you to do. So he's turned, swiveled, and pinged it out on the right-hand side, wanted to switch play very quickly. Yeah. Pinged it out to Andrew Impey. Andy Impey's standing there, laid back and casual, relaxed, isn't it? The ball's travelled 40 yards, but it's ended up about a yard in front of Andy Impey. Andy Impey sort of put a foot out and it stumbled out of play. Peter Taylor's gone, Imps, what the hell are you doing? liven up, son. Make sure you get on the ball. And he went, get lost, Gaffer. He said, Wednesdays are my day off. He said, you're lucky I even turned up at all. So with that, we were just on the floor, like laughing at the cheek of it in front of it. Peter Taylor just sort of looked up to the skies and thought, what chance have I got here? But that was indicative of not necessarily a slur on him. So it didn't come, it doesn't sound very good, very professional, but how much Peter Taylor had lost the players a little bit, because you wouldn't be doing that to Martin O'Neill, put it that way.